The AC/DC concert tomorrow night at Auckland's Mount Smart Stadium will go ahead despite 57 arrests outside the concert venue in Wellington. With more on that story, here's Leighton Smith.
Good evening. They've been around for over 15 years, which makes them a pretty established act. But last night, AC/DC gave its first ever New Zealand concert, and it was, in every sense of the word, a smashing success. The ironic thing about last night's concert was that the residents around Wellington's athletic park, who had tried to stop the show, had their worst fears recognised. Tomorrow night, it's Auckland's turn. AC/DC promoter Ian McGann, good evening.
Leighton, nice to see you.
How much responsibility should a promoter take for that sort of behaviour last night?
I think a good promoter takes more than his share of responsibility. He gets concerned at the levels beyond the business side of the activity. And in this case, we have done a lot of preparation with the local residents, the police, the local authorities, to make sure that the concert goers were protected as much as was humanly possible.
The concert goers were protected?
Mm-hmm. And the residents, yeah.
Were you there last night?
No, I wasn't there last night.
What sort of reports,
plenty of people there.
What sort of reports did you have?
We've had reports about the stabbings, the drunkenness, and some residential property damage. Yeah.
Was any of it exaggerated in the police reports?
I haven't seen all of the reports yet, but
how would you describe it?
There were many incidents at the concert.
Did it surprise you?
Yes, it did.
Why?
It did. Because I believe we were well prepared as a group. This is a team effort, don't forget. It's police, local authorities, residents, promoters, ambulance,
But this was
security.
the worst behaviour for a long time. What sort of fans does AC/DC attract?
Well, AC/DC attracts a very wide range. As you said, they've been around for 15 years. We had people at the concert, and we'll have them again tomorrow, from 15 to 45 years of age. What sort of fans? Some of them are yobbos. And it's the yobbos that are our main concern.
More yobbos at this sort of concert than at a normal one?
I suppose marginally more, although there's always a yobbo element goes to the big shows. Yeah. They go there to show off and to make fools of themselves.
Reports were they were pretty tanked up, I mean pretty drunk, right? A lot of them.
We had a situation in Wellington that we hardly ever face, where the show the night before, as you probably know, was postponed.
Yeah.
Because half the roof collapsed the day before. There'd been a major construction problem on the site, so we put the show off for 24 hours. We had over 4,000 people from the South Island there. We had many more than that from Wellington's environs, as far north as Taupo and so on. So a lot of the people who were there to see the show had to stay in town an extra 24 hours. And from what we can gather, a lot of those people spent their day in the pub.
Right.
And we had the most ridiculous situation of drunkenness that I've ever experienced.
Just quickly, tell me the story about Cliff Richard.
Cliff Richard?
Quickly.
He was told from afar by a man who predicted earthquakes to get out of the country real fast because there was going to be a devastating earthquake here in New Zealand.
Ian McGann, thanks for your time. We'll look at that story in just a minute.
Auckland police say they don't expect problems controlling the crowd at tomorrow night's AC/DC concert. By the end of last night's concert in Wellington, police had arrested more than 40 people and 2 more suffered knife wounds. Terrified residents near the venue had barricaded themselves in their homes as drunken hooligans climbed on their roofs and attacked property.
Bottles flew, the knives flashed, and AC/DC played on. Australian rock band AC/DC has gone, but it's not forgotten. During a brief tour, more than 70 fans were arrested. There were several stabbings and an attempted abduction. In Auckland last night, an angry mob pelted police with bottles and a policeman was stabbed. Today they described it as nothing out of the ordinary. Kim Webby reports.
At one stage, there was little the police could do but take cover and scramble for their riot gear.
You guys get under cover.
Our cameraman was hit in the leg by a flying bottle. As the attacks continued, reinforcements arrived. They forced the bottle throwers back down the road. The drama began shortly after the concert started. People without tickets tried to get into the stadium. When missiles were thrown, police shut the gates. Then the crowd turned on the police. There were also claims that police attacked the crowd.
She hides under a car and then she gets batting the shit out of her.
Police arrested 17 people. They also took away 5 very drunk people for their own safety. However, for thousands uninvolved with the shenanigans outside the stadium, the concert was the best.
Really good. It was brilliant. Yeah, excellent concert.
Went to the Wellington one, but this one here was better, heaps better.
Kim Webby, One Network News.
Australian rock band AC/DC have completed an eventful New Zealand tour that's chalked up more than 70 arrests, several stabbings and a collapsed concert roof. At last night's Auckland concert, there was an attempted abduction and a policeman suffered a stab wound.
A familiar sight on this tour, fans who'd unsuccessfully tried to bend the rules. They arrived in their thousands last night and they'd all come for the same reason. As they entered the stadium, the fans were left in no doubt just what the rules were.
Have your tickets ready and be prepared for a full search as you enter the stadium.
Thorough body searches at the gate meant there were few problems inside. The trouble came outside. One policeman was stabbed in the arm while trying to arrest a man with a knife. Altogether, 17 people were arrested. The only music for them was their own drumming on the inside walls of the police wagon. This is what it was all about. But for some fans, it had been a tour of sound without sight of the Aussie rockers. Bob McNeil, 3 National News.